live. Here we are now, mate. We're live. Oh, you fucker hell, turn on it. As always, a fucking fuck up. Right, we're live. This is a match preview with a difference. I've got a guest, Stephen. It's for Wigan versus Sunderland on a Saturday. I'll be doing a live stream on that. Remember to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. How are you, Stephen?
I'm a Sunderland supporter, so every day is a struggle. I don't normally look like this to all the Chinese fellas who's watching. I vowed well over a month ago not to shave until Sunderland got 3 points. So that's currently why I look like a hobo. But I am not too bad, mate.
Oh, that's cool. No, right. I just want to start off with Wigan first, everybody. I'll get to chatting a bit. I was talking to a lad called the West Stand on Twitter. So if you're a Wigan supporter, go and follow him. I was asking him how Wigan have done so well this season, basically, and he was saying there's a togetherness in the team. They've got a blend of experience as well as youth, which is something what we tried to go for and it just didn't work. And also he says, I asked for who's been the star players for them, and he couldn't pick. He was saying there's more than one captain in the team, which we lack. We haven't even got one captain, and our Corey Evans is, but he's got no captain traits, really, let's be honest. And they were saying they've got Keane, who scored like 15 goals. They've got Callum Lang, who's homegrown. He's got 12, and James McLean, who we all know about, has got 7. And also they've got players who play with passion. And he did mention James McLean and Max Power. Do you know, it didn't work for Max Power at Sunderland. He did play with passion and that, but for some reason it's working for him against Wigan. And then you've got to look at what else he said. For me, I think it coincides with what happened to Charlie White. When Charlie White went down bad, it brought them together, it galvanised the team, and since then they've all just knuckled down and been playing for each other. And that's what he said. He put a post out saying, asking Wigan supporters who's been the best player, and they couldn't pick. They were arguing amongst themselves, which speaks volumes for the recruitment, what they've done in January and in the summer as well, and it just hasn't worked in our sense. But anyway, we'll talk about Sunderland. But first, I'll quickly jump on the chat, see who's in. Speed is laughing, don't know why he's laughing. He's laughing at you, were you bigger than
right. Hopefully I'll be able to shave it off soon, like.
It will be typical for ex-Cats to score, says Billy G.
Always happens.
It always happens. Rovers one blog. Alright, mate. How are you doing? He's just dropped in. Marion Trowell says, hi, Camry. Oh, she must have been Camry Kids and Jude as well. Alright. And Lenny McLean says, alright, to somebody else as well. Talking amongst themselves. They're not even talking to us too. But no, anyway, about Sunderland, Stephen. What's happened, boss? What's went wrong from the first 10 games where we were top of the league, we were winning, drawing 1 or 2 with Fleetwood, and it's just literally you fell off a cliff.
I mean, all Sunderland supporters have all got different opinions, and we all were jumping on different things. It's this reason, this is the reason.
Right.
But I think Alex Neil hit the nail on the head, which probably a lot of Sunderland fans have agreed with over the last few weeks since he's been in. Is we said that we've got players that have been playing too much. So, like, if you look at Doyle, for example, start of the season, he was one of the best players on the pitch in nearly every game.
Right.
And now you clearly see now he's knackered, he's tired. He's probably played one of the ones who's played more minutes than anybody else in the team.
Right. And
now it's starting to show he needs a break. And players that should have been coming in and playing while they're resting to let them, regalvanise themselves, if you will, so they have another good run of the team. They haven't been getting the match fitness.
Right.
So now when Neil's come in, the biggest mistake was getting rid of Flanagan and not replacing him. So centre backs, we've got 3, but Bat's not fully match fit. Doyle's overplayed, so he's not fit. And Bailey Wright, he's in and out every few weeks because he keeps on getting injured.
What about Hale Maggi? He's another one you could toss into the mix.
Well, I mean, he's had a long injury and all that, but they can't say he's not match fit anymore because he's had shitloads of games for the under 23s.
That's right.
And I remember when we signed him before he got injured, they were banging on saying, he's absolutely class. He's went like an unnoticed talent.
I remember
and
that.
They were saying he's going to be class, and obviously he got that horrific injury. But if we've got him in, use him. Nice. He's saying that we haven't got, like Neil said after Tuesday, we haven't got any other options but to play Doyle. But he had Bat on the bench and he's got that Jumanji, whatever his freaking name is. I can't pronounce it.
Jumanji.
You've got him who wasn't even in the squad, so I don't know if he's picked up another knock or what. But
they were saying about, Alex Neil was saying the reason that, what you've just said there, is because he hasn't got a left-footed centre-back.
You didn't need that.
You didn't really
in a perfect world, aye. But I'm sorry, I'm a fat knacker. I'm 38-year-old and I'm a fat knacker, and I can play football with both my feet. And I'm going to play football after this. I've got to pay £3 to go and play. They're getting paid £3,000 to play. You know what I mean? You can use both your feet. That for me, that was a piss poor excuse. Like
I didn't agree with that one.
You didn't? I mean, look at for years we had Magic Johnson under the Peter Reid era. He played left wing every week. He was right-footed. You didn't need to have a certain foot. It's nice and it helps, but that was piss poor for me. Saying, "Oh, he's our only left-footed centre," but you didn't need to be left-footed.
Nah. So what formation he could come up against Wigan? What would you go with?
It's a struggle. It's a struggle for me. I'd go 4-3-3. I'd go 4-3-3. I know what everyone says, and I didn't like playing 4 at the back, but for me, I'd gone 4-3-3. But I'd actually have people in their mental positions.
Their promises that winds us up. I didn't understand what the crack is with playing Winchester at right back all this time when Tri Hume's at the club.
Exactly.
I didn't think that Tri Hume when he was playing. What game was it?
It was the.
I can't remember. Couldn't even remember what game it was, but he played. And I didn't even think he was that bad. I didn't think he didn't have a problem with game. He did. He got forward a lot.
Come forward was great.
But our defensive woes, it's bad. Circlin's been having nightmare games. To be honest, he's escaped a lot of criticism from people like on social media or wherever, fans. He's gone uncriticised. Where I think that's a bit harsh. I think that's a bit harsh. I think he's been kind of bad, mate.
No, he's looked quite bad in the last couple of games. I'll give you that. But you've also got to look at the point that we've been caught out by the counter.
Aye.
And he's always one of the ones that stays back when it's our corner or our attack and play. He stays back. So when it's on the counter, he's got to try and cover. So he's seen to be the one chasing back because the centre halves cannot. So you know what I mean. So he tries to run back, and I mean, yes, he's made a few mistakes. I mean, he pulled out of 2 challenges, which I hate. He pulled out of a couple of challenges on Tuesday night, but he's had a couple of not so great weeks. I'll give you that. But he's one of the ones who I'd say he's one of the better performers on overall. For when he's played this season, for me anyway.
Well, to be honest, the first 10 games he was doing mint. He looked bright, getting forward.
Yeah. And then he got injured.
He got an injury. I'm trying to think. It wasn't Denver Hume. Denver Hume got in for a couple of games, but then he went.
He went. Turk got injured. He put Dan Neal back.
That's what it was. Dan Neal. I couldn't think who went back there. I couldn't think that. I quickly got the chance.
2 of our best centre midfielders have both played right back and left back.
Well, that's another thing. I will get on to the recruitment in a minute because I'm going jumping ahead.
The chat's up and down.
Where is it?
Gone. It hasn't
2 minutes. I'll pull back up.
This is what happens when you go live, kid.
They know the score with me. They know I fuck up basically all the time. Yeah, and then I'll put that back.
I kind of think technology at all, so it's alright.
Oh shit, what have I done now? 2 minutes if you want. I'll get back onto it. It's a little touch bigger.
It make me bigger. There's nothing wrong with my eyes.
Can you see it? Well, you can see it. I can't. I have to use the phone. It looks really unprofessional. But anyway, there's many sides who don't deserve to be in this league based on club size, but it means absolutely nothing. Erratic decisions won't get you anywhere.
No, he's right. He's done another one further up about us sacking Johnson.
Oh, right. That's what he's reiterating about.
No, I agree with you. Snap decisions, but I was talking to Paul before earlier. There's more. I didn't agree with sacking Johnson, but after finding out a few more things since it's happened, it wasn't just about the Bolton Wanderers result or like that. There was a bit of things behind the scenes which we're not going into because obviously it could be wrong. But
it could be. So you didn't really want to say.
Well, I don't think it is.
Well, it's I wouldn't say so much it's concrete, but it's like I can't say that big and not true, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? That's just leave it at that anyway. But no, for me, I thought it was the right decision to sack him, but it's the way they went about it after the sacking though. With the farcical interviews what took so long, the heads got turned with Roy Keane, then it took so long to announce a manager, and we lost them 2 games. When in hindsight it didn't fucking matter really, because we lost games after that, didn't we?
We did, but if you look at Peterborough, sorry Paul.
No,
Peterborough have just done a prime example of how to do it.
Aye.
They sacked the manager, and then within 3 days they had a new manager in charge. That's how you do it. They had someone lined up, so the new manager's in, they got rid of Ferguson, and then 3 days later Grant McCann, he's the new manager, and he brought in his assistant straight away, so he's going to end up hitting the ground running on the training pitch.
You know how the first game is?
Hull.
Aye.
Oh, class. Absolutely class. I didn't know.
Aye, Hull's the first game.
But no. Dan Duncan's put on here, when does Jordan Willis get back? That's a good bloody question. I've been wanting to know that for absolutely ages.
Well, I've seen his Instagram post. He's been in, he's doing like stretches and exercise on the treadmill and that sort.
I've been doing stretches and exercises. Have you seen his missus? I've been doing stretches and exercises all the time.
Tack that as a pinch of salt, you know what I mean? You didn't know when he's coming back just off that. But Broadhead, I've seen him on the grass now.
Yeah, that's what. But the point is, he's still doing individual training.
Oh, right.
So there's different stories coming on from all over. Like I got told last week that he'll be back in 10 days to 2 weeks, and then now.
And it's meant to be weeks.
And then yesterday it was he's doing individual training on the grass. I'm like, wait, that's not good. Well, and he's still at Everton. He's still down at Everton, receiving the treatment and training there. So
well, he wouldn't he gone back to his parent club? But like you were saying there, we're desperate for Broadhead to come back, in my opinion. Like,
oh yeah, he'll make a big difference when he does.
100%. To be honest, you know, the last game we played against Wigan, we beat them 2-0, and he scored. It was in the cup. No,
in the cup. Yeah, sorry.
It was him in 2009 scored in the cup, and we beat them. Was it the stadium like the first game of the season as well? So we've beat them twice this season already. We beat them 2-1. But the team on Tuesday night they looked so disjointed.
They did. I mean, for me, Tuesday night. Yet again, opinions like arseholes. Everyone's got one, right? But Pritchard is a blatant number 10 player. You play him behind the forward man. All right, play him behind the forward man. We had him out on the wing on Saturday, so that means he's isolated at one side of the pitch. Whereas when you've got him behind the 10, he can go across to the right, he can go across to the left. And also, all season, he's been doing it, feeding in the wingers or feeding in the forward man. Putting him out on the wing, he's isolated that side of the pitch, so he wasn't very effective at all.
No.
And then on Tuesday, he's trying to say he played 3 at the back with 2 wing backs. I don't know where he's got that from, because I watched that game on Tuesday and that was not the formation he was playing.
No, definitely
not. Gooch, they're trying to say Gooch was a wing back, but for me, he was forward the whole time.
He was,
So he was on the right wing. There was only Cirkin on the left, and we had Matete, Evans, Pritchard all in the middle with Stewart and Defoe up front.
But that's what I noticed in the game. I was getting, we've got left winger.
Aye.
I know Pritchard was meant to be playing it there, but he likes to drift into the middle. And there was nobody. Cirkin couldn't get forward or overlap with anybody because there was nobody there to do it.
No.
And it was all left to him, and that's probably why Cirkin did get a little bit of criticism as well. Because he was tasked with a bit too much on his hands, to be honest.
Well, exactly. He was only one to come. And another thing, he was bursting them runs forward, and it was Doyle. He did it 3 times in the first half. Cirkin went busting down the left wing. Nobody followed him. He had enough time to make it a cup of tea. And they never looked at him, and instead Doyle chose to play a 50-yard ball across the other side. Well, I mean, if I was Cirkin, I'd be screaming at him, but I think because he's a young kid, he didn't.
Well, do you think he'll start Defoe on... That brings on to Defoe. Do you think he'll start Defoe on...
He shouldn't. He shouldn't. For me, it was clear to say that he's definitely not match fit.
Oh, no. I thought he pulled up 2 or 3 times. Did you notice?
He pulled up a couple of times. I think he clashed knees when he went running through one time. But also, he also pulled out of a couple of tackles. Where the ball was there to be won, and he kind of like pulled out by bottled it. For me, don't get us wrong, Defoe for me was always going to be an impact sub coming off the bench. But for me, I wouldn't start him.
Well, to be honest, he did mark some really good runs, but nobody had the vision to pick him out.
Oh yeah, and also when he had the ball, his passes were good out of the wingers, which is what he does, pass out of the wing and then make a run in the box. But like I say, we didn't have that quality.
Some of our, I was about to say, if McGeady was in the team, then McGeady,
it would work.
It would, wouldn't it? Because McGeady would have an understanding with Defoe, and I think that they would link up class. But I wanted Defoe and Stewart to become like closer together. They were very far. Stewart, oh my god.
But if you look at Stewart, I mean, Stewart, he's too good for us in the way things are at the minute.
I think he'd leave if we didn't go up.
If we don't go up, he's away, and nobody can blame him. Nobody can blame him. If you look on Tuesday, at one point he was in the left back position.
I was just about to say that.
I was sitting there, I was like, what's he doing back there? But if he wasn't there, well, chances are they would have created a goal.
Because we've got smart players.
Opportunity.
Well, he was on the wing at one point. He works his socks off, he gets himself off. He's really fit. But like you say, we've got small players, and obviously he's being told, if on set pieces, you get yourself back.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
But then when we want to counter, where's our target man? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He's in defence. But I'll just quickly jump back onto the chat.
Aye.
Sunderland going up, says Speed. I hope so. I hope if we can get into the playoffs, it's a lottery and you've got a chance. But Sunderland and playoffs then again hand in hand, do they? When's the next match? It's Saturday, isn't it?
Saturday, 3 o'clock.
I will play this Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Tuesday coming. I'm not sure, but I'm more sure. Like,
no, I've got the fixtures. I've got the fixtures before. But they're saying that I'm guessing Colin Yates is a Bolton fan. Mm-hmm. Like I think, mate, I'll be happy if we make the playoffs the way things are going at the minute. Like, you know what I mean?
They've got a good chance of getting it. Do you know what I said? Even before they beat us, right?
Hold on, who's Macam FC? Who's Macam FC? Have you seen this? That's the most precise prediction I have ever seen in the history of predictions. Not only has he guessed the score, he's guessed the scorers and what minute they're going to get the goals in.
I'll like to screenshot that, imagine if it comes through.
Mate, stick a quid on that, you'll be able to retire if it comes in, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's worth a quid, right? To get the minute the score on.
I mean, the way things are at the minute, I can see Wigan scoring 3, however, I think Sunderland might struggle to score 3.
You know. You know what, it's all dependent on who he starts. That brings us on to the wingers, Stephen. I know you said it in the game when you come up to us about the wingers, about Clark and Roberts.
Yes, I was going to mention them. I think when I said I'd go 4-3-3 against Wigan.
Aye.
For me, Stewart's going to be up top in the middle, and I'd have Clark on one side and Roberts on the other. Them two must have been fuming on Tuesday. Gooch has been injured for 3 weeks.
Aye.
He's been injured for 3 weeks. Not fit enough to be on the bench, and he comes in, he walks straight to the start 11. You've got Jack Clark, who's on loan from Premier League Tottenham, and Roberts was just signed from Man City, and they're sitting on the bench. And I'm like, what's going on here?
He was once £12 million,
well, exactly, aye. I mean,
thinking, what?
Get them on the pitch.
Aye.
They can both. You've seen Clark when he comes on. He's fast, he's explosive, and he creates things. And if you've got two wingers like that on either side, they'll create things and they'll get the. But you've seen Stewart. Stewart can score headers. He can score with his feet. You've got to feed him.
Aye.
And I think with Clark and Roberts, with players with confidence who believe in their ability, who don't need to take 77 touches like Gooch does. Now I'm not just having a go at Gooch here, but you know he does. We all know he likes to do it. Even Hamilton, whenever he's not a winger either.
No.
Hamilton's another Pritchard who likes to play behind the forward man.
Aye.
But if you look at him when he's on the wing, guaranteed he cuts in every time he looks for the shot. And he's only scored once from it this season.
But that's the whole point. I've said it in previous videos. You've got to have a player of Clark's ability in your starting 11. There's no good chasing the game when we're one down or it's 1-1. You want him in your starting 11 because then you might be able to take the lead in games. But
it's better to grab the ball by the fucking bull by the horns, if you will. There you go. Grab the ball by the horns. If you go out from the start, get an early lead, then you can relax and settle play your football. But as the way we do it, we didn't do that anymore. We're not going out there. We're always end up chasing the games. And as soon as you're chasing games, you just make it harder and harder on yourself.
That's exactly how I feel. And do you know what? It got mentioned in games where we weren't as bad. Lee Johnson was still in charge, and we were like drawn. I think it was Shrewsbury away. We drew, and they had 10 men.
Yeah.
And we were just getting bullied. That's a fucking Shrewsbury.
That's what it was,
You know, no disrespect to Shrewsbury, but we should have been beating them, not because we're a bigger club and we've got a bigger fan base, shite.
No.
Because we had the better players.
And we had an extra player on the pitch.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter whether you've got the frigging world class players without but if you've got an extra man on the pitch, you didn't allow them to bully you. You passed the ball around them.
And that got mentioned. It was getting mentioned of like YouTubers, whatever, and it was getting mentioned then even when Lee Johnson was in, and teams sussed us out. And when Lee Johnson and the team got battered 6-0, I think it was a bit before that where we were just stringing out a draw here or draw there, and then that big defeat, we've just dropped off, literally dropped off a cliff. The Lincoln game where Maguire stole a show.
Wait, he didn't. Yes, he got the headlines because he scored a but he didn't actually play good that game. He didn't play him in that game. He got 3 goals. One was a penalty and 2 of them were on the counter. That was it.
And what does he do when he played for Sunderland? He done that, didn't he?
But aye.
He'd be quiet all game, and then all of a sudden he'd.
But if you've got a striker and they didn't play all that well, but they scored 3 goals, job done.
Job done, aye. That's the whole point. And for me, I didn't understand. Do you know when Lee Johnson first took over and that period where he just ostracised Chris Maguire? That for me,
that was madness.
That pissed me right off because he was the type of player when it weren't gone right for us that could have popped up with an odd goal and we probably could have went up. you didn't know.
Well, we found out since he's left that he's done the same again. He's done it with O'Brien.
Aye.
Now, I've never been one of O'Brien's biggest fans.
No,
but last season, if it wasn't for O'Brien, there's no way in hell White would have been able to score as many goals as he did, because O'Brien did all the running.
The donkey was,
so White could just stand in the middle and wait for McGeady to feed him.
Exactly.
And then we found out that O'Brien would. I mean, earlier in the season, he scored a hat-trick.
Aye.
And then he didn't even get in the team.
Blackpool away. I remember that. He scored. It was in the cup game. He scored a hat-trick, and he was thinking to himself, "Boom, I'm in here."
Aye.
Nah, got dropped the next game. There's his confidence shot. Do you know what? It was funny. I was watching him on Twitch. Right? He does COD on Twitch, I think. O'Brien. I don't know why. But he put a link out, and I thought, "Oh, what the fuck's that?" So I clicked on it, and it was his COD thing. And Sunderland support asked him, saying, "Why are you not in the team?" And he went, "I couldn't tell you. Didn't ask me. I couldn't tell you." And it's like, fucking hell, for him to say that to a Sunderland supporter. You know what I mean? What was going on behind closed doors? It's fucking mad.
I mean, just go back to one of the things you said there about us just going out draws, us just throwing games away, not being able to hang on. That to me, and everyone will agree, is the big difference between what us and Wigan have done this season.
Exactly.
Wigan have been close in games because they've had a lot of games to play, like we have in the previous years.
Yep.
But they've managed to scrape that win, or they've managed to say they were 2-0 up and then it comes down to 2-1. Whereas Sunderland would buckle and then end up conceding another. Wigan just managed to grind out. They come together as a team. They work it out and then they get it on. You haven't got anyone trying to do daft. Freaking Kieron Nosworthy turns on the edge of the box like what Doyle did on freaking Tuesday and things like that.
He tried to do McGeady spin, didn't he?
Do
you know, regardless of fitness or because he's feeling tired and he's making mistakes, that was criminal today.
Of course it was.
He was getting pressed at the back as well.
The only person I've seen do as many turns on the edge of a box on him was Kieron Nosworthy back in the day. But we loved it when he did it because it was comical as hell.
Oh, he was mint Nosworthy. But like I was saying, I was talking to that Wigan supporter. If you've just joined, he's called the West Stand on Twitter. Again, follow him if you want. He was telling us that he doesn't think this is going to be like a batter, and he doesn't think Wigan's going to batter suddenly. He said that we'll nick the game, and they've been digging that regular, and that's what Stephen's just been getting on about there. That they've managed to see games out, and I said this before in the beginning of the season when we nicked the odd game. Good teams managed to do that. Where us, we haven't been doing that recent. We've been playing terrible, really, haven't we? We just haven't seen it. I'll just quickly jump back on the chat there. Where we'll be.
Just got Yeti. Me personally, I wouldn't have had Big Sam back. I wouldn't have had Big Sam. Yeah, everyone like gets, all Sunderland fans like to get nostalgic. I suppose all fans across the
I did with King, mate. I did with King.
They all like to get nostalgic and all that, and like bring people back. Yes, but that's it. That last season, before the FA stole him for us to give him one game in charge of England and then sack him. Yeah. Yes, he was great for us then, but we had the players then. Me personally, I wouldn't want him, but I'm happy with Neal's appointment. I am, and I do believe, I do believe he will get it right. However, unfortunately for Neal and for us, he hasn't got time to play around and find his system. He's got to find it quick, and he's got to make it work. And we've got to start grinding out these results.
Well, do you know what? You get the nail on the head there. There's only 12 games left.
Aye.
12 games left, and to be honest, we can't afford to drop even a point because we were just looking at the table there before we come on here, and I'll quickly get it up there. Wigan, what was it? Chef Wade.
Chef Wade's got 2 games in hand. They're in 8th, and Wickham's 7th.
That's David.
Aye, there. Well, Chef Wade's got 2 games in hand on us, and they're 1 point behind us. And Wickham's got 1 game in hand on us, and they're 1 point behind us as well.
So if they win their games in hand,
we're down in 8th.
We're down to 8th. So it's catch up to start. I know games in hands didn't mean necessarily points on board, but look what Wigan. I said the same thing about Wigan, and they've still been managing to put the points on the board. They've only in the last 5 they've won 3, lost 1, drew 1, so they're still managing to keep there and thereabouts. I think Rotherham will win the league, but I think Wigan will go up as well, and it's a lottery for the playoffs. Look at the MK Dons, come from nowhere. Now they're winning all the time. How many games they've won now?
Ooh.
They've won 3, drew 2.
MK Dons, aye.
Won 3, drew 2. But our form is relegation form. We're looking at that.
We've got the joint second worst form in the league over the last 5 games. Hence the reason I look like a hobo.
You're not held into it if you see him in the stadium when he's shaved.
I'm not allowed to shave until we get 3 points.
Until he gets 3 points. I forgot what I was going to do to not get 3 points. No, it was something random. Something random. Right, I'll quickly get that back on so we can see what they're talking about, if they're calling us or not. So I've been getting a load of Geordies in my comments recently. Don't know why, they love to come on and
Well, there seems to be a big fucking Bolton following on it. Yeah.
Do you know what Bolton's been? A few Bolton supporters have been alright. There's a lad called David. I think that his dad, David Jones. He always watches me videos, and he's a Bolton fan.
Aye. But Barry Thomas has put there. I think Bolton have ruined our season. Don't get us wrong. That was a massive kick in the teeth what Bolton did to us. But that one result hasn't ruined our season. We've lost. We've been beaten twice 5-0. We've been beaten 6-0. We've got beat 4-1. Some of the results we've had against us have been absolutely criminal, and it shouldn't have happened. That was Lee Johnson. He did it at Bristol City, and he's done it since he's with us. Goes on a run of winning loads of games, get manager of the month, and then just starts opening the floodgates and letting all the goals in against us.
That was the worst thing ever. That get manager of the month one month, sacked the next.
Aye.
But a lot of supporters cannot understand those, Stephen, and say what your thoughts of this on. A lot of people who comment on my videos and they say, I can't believe you sacked the manager when you were sitting third. What would you say to that? Someone who's saying that?
So what? Sorry.
I can't believe I can't believe you sacked the manager when you're sitting third.
No, that's right. Me personally, like I say, I wouldn't have sacked him. But like I said, I've spoken to a few people who were in the know, and it wasn't just the football. There was a lot of there was things that had been happening off the pitch, which Speakman was willing to look up. I don't know why I just shouted like that there, but Speakman was willing to look past it and give him a bit longer, but Kieron Dreyfus was like, no, enough's enough. So he wanted rid of him. He said he didn't want him running his club anymore. But to take 2 weeks to find a replacement, that's just criminal. Even if you know you're going to sack him, you keep him in charge, because he buggered off and his assistant buggered off the same day.
Absolute terrible.
And then we had friggin' Michael Proctor, who was 2 years above me in Monkey House. and friggin' Ken Dodd in charge, and I was like, what's going on here?
Steve, you should have applied for the job.
Like me,
Jesus, you probably got more credentials.
I'm at Sunderland City Juniors Quinn under 11s. You know what I mean? We've got better form than what Sunderland have at the minute.
But I like you were saying that. For me, that brings us on to Speakman. What's your thoughts on Speakman? Personally, I'll tell you mine. I think he's got, in the start of the season, it was criminal again at this season.
I love him.
Who?
Marion Trowles. Paul, your friend is great on air. Thank you very much, matey.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
This is what this channel's needed. I want to get a bit better set up, a green screen, and we'll be away.
But next time I'll not be drinking water.
Well, I know I will have a couple of drinks. He's got footy after this. He's pushed for time. He's a very busy man. No, but Speakman, he went into the season, knee full backs, criminal as you like. He got away with it, because we were top of the league and we were doing well, first 10.
Alright. But we were top of the league on New Year's Day.
It was criminal what he done in January as well. The type of calibre of players were coming in, they were all young, knee experience. The centre backs were Flanagan gone out, not replacing him. So, you know what I mean? What do you think about Speakman then?
Me personally, I think he's doing alright, mate. I think the players we brought in have been actually quality. But the key for having someone like Speakman in your club is they've got to work alongside the manager. So like I remember when we had, we're going back some time now, but when we had DeCanio and we had that Defanti, it was a similar role. DeCanio was head coach and that Defanti was the director of football. He did all the signings without DeCanio having any say in it. But this time it seems that Speakman was basically him and Johnson came together to pick who they wanted. It's just ironic that we got these players in and then we sacked them before Johnson got the chance to use them.
But that's the thing though, the Johnson sacking as well, as much as I agree with it, this philosophy what went all the way down to the youth, right?
Yeah.
Where's all that gone now then? With the likes of Ward coming in, Defoe, who's Elman, you know what I mean? What's the crack? Where's this philosophy of the youth?
We didn't have, but I think the problem we've had this season, Johnson said at the start of the season, we're going to bring in the youth, we're going to bring in the young'uns, which we did. But what's happened is we've overplayed the young'uns. We've overplayed them, so that experience we had, like the older generation, the older players, we needed to bring them in. So we needed to rest it, like, give the young'uns a break. You can't, just because they're young and they're fit, you can't expect them to freaking run 90 minutes every week. No. They need to, because they're not just playing the games, they've got training constantly. They're training three times a day. Then they've got the games, and the games are intense. Playing a full 90 minutes at professional level, it's hard. And they do need breaks. And
I didn't think it's having a physical impact on the bodies. I think it's more mentally, right? Because the young, they should be able to do that. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it is. It's more mental.
It's not more mental, isn't it?
They can't run about, you know what I mean? But it is.
It's more mentally. I try to keep focused for that amount of time for a young person. It does have an impact on them. I agree with that. Like, but for me, I don't know. That's down to Speakman again. I know he should have brought more players in to compensate for that.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? So there would have been extra backup for when the younger players were feeling the effects. You know what I mean?
I think what it is on that year is again. I don't think it had nothing to do with the board on why the problems with the board.
Oh.
Why it took so long to appoint a new manager. I think that because they interviewed too many people. We interviewed 12 managers. Keno didn't even get a second interview.
Did he not?
No. Well, eight of them got second interviews. Keno wasn't one of them.
Oh, I thought he did.
Straight away, the Keno issue was we had to buy out his Sky contract and he wanted too much money.
I didn't know that about the Sky contract.
About 2.5 million to pay out the Sky contract. I think that was just they wanted to get the appointment right,
Aye.
but they did it the wrong way about it. So they got rid of the manager before they should have been interviewing people on the side to get the replacement before then sacking Johnson. They really should have. There's another out there. He's put on the man of the world. You probably's all right. Neil probably will end up going the same way as what Ross and Parkinson and Johnson has went.
I agree with that.
But hopefully they don't.
I was just about to say that before you read his comment out. We're going to have to stop this sacking managers. I think this is the perfect manager. He doesn't waffle on in interviews. He tells you exactly how it is. They're not fit. They need rest. He lets us know what we want to hear really well. I couldn't even mark out Lee Johnson's off his interviews what he was coming out with.
He tries to use sports science and
it was too much, man.
Technical terms. I think he tried to bullshit you with bullshit Buffles brains. That's something I learned in the army. Bullshit Buffles brains. Somebody asked you a question, you didn't know the answer. Use long, complicated words which make no sense, but the people who you're answering to don't understand, so they just nod their head and agree.
And that's what we were like. We were like, oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. I
don't know what that word means. That must be good.
That's meant that, but no, you're right. But where this manager, I feel as if now, regardless of how this season goes, we've got to stick with him, and he does need to be backed. He needs to be. And do you know what? I couldn't give a shite if Speakman Gans. I know he does bring his players in and this and that and the other, but I would trust Neil to do everything, recruitment and obviously coaching the players.
But that's not going to happen.
It's not that.
The way we've got to put it, because you've got to remember Dreyfus is coming from European teams. He knows Marseille because his dad owned Marseille.
Who brought Speakman in though? Was it Donald?
No, it was Dreyfus.
Was it?
He bought the club, or 41% of it. And then he brought him in. He started putting his impact on straight away.
I thought it was the Mandrox crew.
No.
So I get Mandrox in or Mandrox out?
I couldn't even fly fuck as long as they didn't come back to Sunderland. Especially Methven and them stupid purple pants out. Thinking, love to punch his face in.
Well, fuck, I would. Do you know what? I didn't know how he gets away with walking about with the Sunderland supporters on away days, mate.
I don't know how he gets walking about in public wearing fucking bright yellow socks and purple trousers and green jumpers.
Brown brooks.
Oh, wait, mate, I know. Get a grip of yourself, you fucking moron. He got given 5% of the club and he didn't even figure put a penny into it.
Fuck. What about Defanti and these fucking Argentina amazing players he's bringing over? What happened to them? Santori, that's you mentioned.
That's me mentioning I'll tap the bin for that. He was never going to bring Argentina or Uruguayan players over, but he's invested and he's got contacts over there, but I think the plan when he came on board was we were going to be back in the Premier League. You know what I mean? So therefore, he might be able to bring like the young rising stars out, but no young rising stars from Uruguay want to come out at friggin' League One football.
No, definitely not.
They want to be playing against Man City on a Saturday, not against friggin' Plymouth on a Tuesday night.
Carl McNeese says, alright Paul, alright mate, where we're going. You're going to get beat 5-0, says Alfie. Mate, you did it now with Sunderland. We either could get beat 5-0 or you might nick it 1-0. Do you know what? I cannot say it's winning, Stephen. Neither
can I, but like I said before, this would be such a Sunderland thing to do after playing shite against teams that we should be beaten. With the strength of our squad, it'll be a Sunderland thing to do to get to Wigan on Saturday and come back with 3 points with a convincing performance and everything. It's just sod's law. But McLean's going to score. McLean's going to score. And he's going to run to our fans and celebrate, and he's going to get friggin' poppies bounced off his head. The horrible bastard.
You did fucking
Sorry.
No, it's alright. No, to be honest, he will, because he's the type of player who relishes in games like this where the fans are going to be on his back. And do you know what? I said in my match vlog against the MK Dons.
Jackson said, that's my dad.
Is that John?
It must be.
Class. Do you know what? I said in my match vlog before the MK Dons game that Connor Wickham will probably score. And I didn't want to see it, but I fucking said it anyway. And what happens? He went and scored the winner. We're doing the same against Crystal Palace. We were booing him for the life of us. I didn't know why. We were booing him, and he went and scored 2 against Crystal Palace. 4 Crystal Palace against us. It's always happened over the years. I remember when friggin' John Stead
one of the worst strikers Sunderland's ever had. Played against us for Bradford when we were in the Premier League. They were in League One. He scored a goal against us.
I remember that.
Knocked us out the cup.
Jesus.
But just a quick one on booing there. Yeah, we boo our ex-players not like the likes of Wigan. We've done that and things like that. On Tuesday night, I mean, yes, for me personally, I didn't think Evans should have been starting after his recent performances. He's a good player, but the way he's been playing, he should have been dropped, and then other people should have been put in. But on Tuesday night, when he got subbed and they read his name out, before they even read out who was coming on to replace him, they cheered when his name got read out, and then they booed him while he was running off. For me, that's bang out.
That was fucking horrible. I didn't care. What? Do you know the way I didn't agree with that? How the fuck's that going to help our cause?
Well, it's not.
Booing our fucking...
All it's going to do is damage the confidence is shot to fuck anyway.
All the players' confidence is shot to bits, right? And then we'll start booing them. Do you know what I said? I didn't think we should start him, and I think he's played shit.
Nah.
And bench him. But wait, man, booing him for fuck's sake.
For me, on Saturday, the three... I said we should get a 4-3-3.
Aye. And
the three midfielders, the three on main centre one should be Neal and Matete, slightly behind, and then Pritchard just in front.
And then... The two wingers, Roberts and
Clark, and
Stewart up top, and then try and gamble at 3 at the back if we can.
I'd say 4 at the back. You've got to have 4 at the back. Because our centre half situation at the minute, I'd have that Batten right because Doyle needs a rest. Because he's not performing. He's off the pace and everything because he's doing too much, and it's not his fault. It's our fault for using him too much.
Right.
I'd have Batten right in the centre, Cirkin left, and I'd have Trey Hume on the right, and I'd have the half-back in goal. Not that Patterson's done. I mean, yes, he's conceded a lot of goals.
He doesn't command his box.
Exactly.
He doesn't really command his box.
People get saying that the Hoff's distribution shite. Have you seen Patterson's?
No, he was bad the other day. It was.
Patterson, I mean, you can't blame him really for most of the goals that he's conceded.
No,
it's the defence in front of him. But like I say,
he's not that physical presence.
Well, me and you sit pretty much next to him. We're right behind the goal in the roper end. And you never hear him saying out. You never hear him shout.
It's quiet as a mouse. He's really, that's just him as the way he is as a. He's only a young lad. He's selling he.
Well, yeah, he's only 19.
He's only a young lad, so he will get better. Obviously, with fucking time. But I do think Hoffman commands his box a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, Patterson's also had a lot flung on him this season.
He
started the season in goal for us. He started playing.
Aye.
And then obviously we got the Hoff in and Burge came back.
And then he went out.
He went out on loan. He's been pulled and tossed and turned. He come back. Then he went back again. Then he come back.
It's just our club, man.
And then we haven't had a choice. Obviously, Burge has got that heart problem. The Hoff had some kind of problem, but he's all right now. Right. It's just one of them things.
Quickly jump on the chat, and then we'll have to shoot off. Colin Yates, Kevin Charlton says battered.
Ken Charlton needs to wind his neck in and do one.
Yeah,
but you're not far off at the minute. Yes, we get battered everywhere we go.
He's not wrong. He needs to jog on, but he's not wrong. Where we're up to. Hi guys.
Callum Linton, guitar man. Hi Steve. Hello mate. Oh, it's Callum. Oh, Callum lad. See you in the Derby next home game, mate.
Read this. Can you read that one out? So
which one?
The
Ian Barron.
No. Aye, but Darlington thing.
Hi guys, I'm a Darlington FC fan. Yeah. We were made bankrupt in 2011, reformed in 2012, demoted 4 leagues. We are currently a fan-owned National League North club. We had 3 promotions to date. No, that's right, and I love a way that does that. But I think that we wouldn't be able to do that at Sunderland. Not just because of the assets we've got, the stadium, the training ground. There's always going to be someone that's want to come in. Like, look at the Madrox Wankers. Yeah. They've come in thinking they're going to make a quick buck. It hasn't worked in their favour at all, and now they're fucked and they have to sell half the club to keep that going. But they're still keeping the minging little clause in. So because hopefully one day soon we will actually start going back up, and then they'll be able to sell their shares for a lot more than what they didn't pay out for them. They used our money to buy them.
And apparently now that debt is being squashed, but apparently we're in £8 million debt still.
Oh, right.
I've just read it on it's a verified person on there, and he was saying that we're still apparently meant to be in £8 million worth of debt.
Mate,
I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just reading.
Exactly. I'm not going to have to say the books because I wouldn't be able to understand them anyway.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I know.
But everything I look at numbers wise, especially my bank's normally got a minus sign in front of it anyway. But no, top 6. Colin Yates is after a top 6 prediction as things stand.
I couldn't get this upstairs.
Like Paul said before, I think it's going to be Rotherham, Wigan 1 and 2. Although MK Dons I think will push them, but I think it'll be Rotherham, Wigan, and then I don't know what order, but I reckon the playoffs is going to be MK Dons, Sunderland, Wickham and Sheffield. That's my 4 playoff teams. I know Bolton's doing a surge, so I don't want to offend the big Bolton follower that's on this chat tonight. But I just think that they might have left it a little bit too late. Maybe if you played us earlier in the season, your run would have started a bit earlier. But
you know what? I'd say obviously Rotherham and Wigan. It's either out of them two who's going to win it.
No, Rotherham's won it.
And then I deny, you know, if they win the 2 games in hand, look, they're not that far off.
Rotherham's still going to win it. Wigan have been slipping up where Rotherham they're so consistent.
Who was that game who did you get beat off there? Chef Wade, we beat them 5-0.
Yes, it was Chef Wade.
It's a fucking weird league, though, isn't it?
It is if you're a Sunderland fan.
Fucking hell.
Well, it does. Anything can happen. Anything can happen in this league.
But I would say MK Dons are going to be in the playoffs. Wycombe Wanderers.
I said Sunderland and
Chef Wade.
I reckon Oxford will fuck up because Fat James Corden in charge. He always falls over. Plymouth, they'll not hang on. I mean, they were right at the top earlier on, weren't they? And then they dropped down. They're starting to get a bit format now, but I still think
they lost the last game.
I still think Sunderland, Wycombe, Chef Wade, and MK Dons will be the 4 playoff teams. Yeah, that's my guess.
I'm going to agree with you because I didn't want to say that we didn't get in there because I'd fucking be devastated if we didn't go. You know what I mean? It'll absolutely kill us.
Life has been a Sunderland supporter. You never give up hope.
Nah, you didn't. You always cling on that little bit because we're Jekyll and Hyde.
And then when we come on and do this again at the end of the season, yes, Colin Yates, you can come on and say, ha ha ha, Bolton made it the playoffs and Sunderland didn't, and then we'll just block you.
You just get blocked. You will. I'll be fuming. Watching Paul on me break at work. Now better. Jeez, Clayton mate, that's the lad who was in the match sitting next to us the other day.
All right,
aye. He's a good lad. I might get him on one time once and all. He's funny. But like I say, got the gun now because he's got footy. We've got it. We might do this again. It's all on Stephen if he wants to.
And you, if you think I'm just a fat knacker who needs a shave, tell Sunderland to get 3 points.
Colin Yates says I wouldn't do that, laughing. Fucking Stephen, I think some other YouTube channels might poach you off.
No,
I'm telling you, you've been mint. And anyway, hit the thumbs up and subscribe before we're gone. And we've got my daily match previews like this more often. Tell us if you liked it in the comments below, and we're going to have to go now.
And also, hopefully next time you see us, I'll be freshly shaven, eh?
Aye.
Oh, yeah, the lads.
Right, season a bit of your own. Yeah, and that last time